The Jamaica Customs Agency is this evening defending itself in the wake of a stinging Auditor General report into its operations. In a report tabled in the House of Representatives this week, the Auditor General highlighted breaches at the entity, which resulted in more than $2 billion in financial exposure and hundreds of millions in uncollected revenue. The details in this report. The Special Audit of the Jamaica Customs Agency, JCA, covered the period 2016 to 2021. Among other things, the audit sought to examine the credibility of allegations made by a whistleblower regarding malpractice and deficiencies in the operation of its private bonded warehouses. The Auditor General said her team could not confirm with certainty the allegations, but the review of the JCA's private bonded warehouses and the bunkering operations revealed controlled breaches of the Customs and Special Economic Zones Acts. The Auditor General said between June 2018 and February 2020, a major importer of bunker fuel failed to declare, in a timely manner, a total of 50 million liters of imported fuel in 5 shipments with a cost, insurance, and freight value of nearly $2 billion and estimated duties of $2.1 billion. The Auditor General found that import entries related to these 5 shipments were outstanding for periods between 1 and 3 years and were only processed in 2021 following inquiries by her team. But the Jamaica Customs Agency issued a statement today saying it wants to provide clarity on the matters raised in the Auditor General's report. It said there were in fact some instances where import declarations were submitted late via the customs management system. However, the JCA said it would have had knowledge of shipments through the uploading of the manifest process and submissions of other documents. It's why the agency says it wishes to highlight that there was no revenue loss relating to the shipments. It explains that it received payment for all the duties, taxes, and fees in relation to the shipments in question, and this evidence was provided to the Auditor General's department. It says it therefore does not agree with the department's use of the term financial exposure. The Auditor General also found that control deficiencies led to $664.24 million in arrears from 3 private bonded warehouse operations. But Jamaica Customs Agency says these arrears arose several years ago. The JCA says it does not agree with the quantum of the arrears stated by the Auditor General. The agency says it continues to make diligent efforts to recover the sums owed, including obtaining an injunction and freezing the assets of one importer. It says a judgment was obtained in the courts against one importer and other legal proceedings are ongoing against this importer. Customs says it has instructed the Attorney General's chambers to commence proceedings in the Supreme Court against another importer. In the meantime, the parliamentary opposition is calling for the major organized crime and anti-corruption agency, MOCA, to conduct a probe into what it describes as deeply troubling issues highlighted by the Auditor General's report on the Jamaica Customs Agency. In a statement today, spokesman on finance, Julian Robinson, said it is important to determine whether the loss to the government's coffers was a result of negligence or criminal conduct.